Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, great people. Welcome back to Global Happenings today. We're so excited to have you again. There is a serious agitation and anxiety right now as Nigerians are waiting for the outcome of the PEPC. But right now, more of the anxiety is in the APC, considering the fact that there are a lot of things which a Labour Party roll out and also PDP roll out, which even the lawyers of Bola Ahmed Tinubu attested to the fact that it was true. So right now, you're going to hear from LP and also from PDP what is the latest fear hitting the APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and also his strong supporters. We are going to be looking at these in details. But before we do that, if you're not subscribed to our channel, please do well hit on the red subscribe button and also the bell icon so that you can get notification anytime we publish our video. The Obidati campaign organization yesterday declared that with the damning evidence before the presidential election petition called PEPC in Abuja against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it would not participate in the rerun election should the poll be annulled. Also, the Special Assistant on Public Communication to Atiku Abubakar, Mr. Frank Shaibu, said that there is palpable fear in the ruling All Progressive Congress on the likelihood of the court upturning the election of President Tinubu. Spokesperson and head of media of the organization, Mr. Diran Onifade, disclosed yesterday that President Tinubu's legal team did not only mislead him but also effortlessly tried to hook-wing the Justice Haruna Shamani-led five-man panel. President Tinubu had last Tuesday appealed to the justices of the court to exclude the presidential candidate of the LP, Mr. Peter Obi, and his party in the event of any rerun presidential election, claiming that only he and the candidate of the People Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, are constitutionally qualified to recontest the rerun election. Tinubu, through his lawyer Chief Wole Olanipekun, senior advocate of Nigeria, and the counsel to the All Progressive Congress APC, Mr. Lateef Fagbemi, senior advocate of Nigeria, had argued that should the justices of the court void the February 25, 2023 presidential election, Obi and his party should not be allowed to recontest. Olanipekun had, while arguing his final written address, declared that Obi should not be allowed to participate in the rerun election because he came third in the race. But the LP described the claim by the Tinubu's lawyer as an attempt to foist his position on the panel of justices, adding that if there would be any rerun, Tinubu would not be on the ballot based on the evidences before the court. Onifade said Tinubu's appeal for the exclusion of Obi and the LP from participating in the proposed rerun and his last-minute effort to challenge the outcome of the election in Kano State shows that he has lost the votes allegedly stolen from Obi in Rivers and Benue State. According to him, I quote his word, he said, if there will be a second election, it will be between the top two. Tinubu will be among the top two, or Tinubu will not be among the top two because all the issues we raise are enough to disqualify him. The certificate forgery, the drug trafficking forfeiture, the invalid nomination of his vice, etc. All those things would have disqualified him in the first place. So he is not going to be on the ballot. All these things that his lawyers are doing are just to make him comfortable. They have misled him and are also trying to mislead the hook. They are trying to mislead and hook-wing the justices. The justices are not foolish. They are claiming that the Constitution says that even if it's true that he has a case of forfeiture, after 10 years, you have been cleared. But that is not true. They have just been clever by half. The section of the Constitution they are talking about has so many subsections, and are only one of them had the 10 years moratorium and it doesn't cover him. So if there is going to be another election, the man would have been disqualified. On the claim that Obi came third, Onifade disclosed, he said, we talk about the figure we put together from River State and Benue State. They didn't even address those at all. When you remove what they stole in Rivers and Benue State and you add to Obi's, their own figure would have gone down and Obi wouldn't be in the third position again. Ask if the figure in Rivers and Benue State would be enough to displace either Atiku or Tinubu. He said the issue was still subjudice, adding, however, that for the APC and Atiku to come from behind to challenge the result in Kano in the last minute, while on the other hand appealing to exclude Obi from a possible rerun, left a lot to be desired. We can't prejudge the tribunal. But let's say, for the sake of your question, if you remove 1 million from 8 million, it will go down to 7 million. And when you add that 1 million to 6 million, that will amount to 7 million. We have professors that did all the calculation. It's a pity that we didn't have the time to carry out the calculation nationwide. They know it's this damaging to them. If not, how come that a state like Kano, that we are not even contesting with them, was brought to the tribunal to challenge that votes were stolen from them in Kano? He explained that their calculation, that's APC calculation, is that by the time what they stole from Rivers and Benue State are deducted, their votes would have gone down. And if the tribunal grant them what they claim they lost in Kano, it might make up for what is deducted from them. Even those of us who are laymen know that their lawyers are playing mind game, because it's one thing they would say in the evidence they have tendered, and it's another that their weaknesses will say under oath. For instance, under oath, Senator Ogbeyemi Bamidele admitted that their man forfeited money and it's about narcotic trafficking. He admitted that under oath. The same forfeiture they have been going about saying that it's a civil case. Then again, the INEC weakness, even though he tendered a document that the uploading an IREF was not part of the mandatory processes in his testimony before the justices, he changed it and said the process included uploading through the IREF. The court document that they tendered, they said the case was about narcotic trafficking. That's the exact word in that document. And when the certificate issue, the one he presented to INEC was not issued by the university. That's a forgery. Tinubu's election is shaky, as Atiku's aide had insisted. Meanwhile, the special assistant on public communication to Atiku, Shaibu, had said that there is palpable fear in the ruling All Progressive Congress on the likelihood of the court upturning Tinubu's election. Shaibu had said this in an interview, and according to him, he said, now that pleadings have been concluded in the petition challenging the February 25th presidential election, it is easy to decipher that the declaration of the APC as winner and of the election is standing on shaky ground. He said further that there was a high possibility that the court would upturn the purported election of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and strengthen electoral processes in Nigeria. According to him, he said the uneasy calm in the camp of the APC is in apprehension about submission and admission of some fundamental facts during the adoption of final written addresses in the two major petitions challenging the declaration of Tinubu by the Independent National Electoral Commission as a winner of the last presidential election. At the adoption of the final addresses, Tinubu's camp conceded to two major facts that have made his key supporters across the country jittery on what may befall them in the final decision of the tribunal. Among other admitted and undisputed fundamental facts at the proceeding were that Tinubu actually forfeited a sum of $460,000 through the judgment of the United States of America court for his established involvement in narcotic and money laundering related offenses. Frank added that another fact was the unchallenged admission of the INEC that Atiku won the February 25th presidential election in 21 states of the Federation, the claim which ought to have made the electoral umpire to declare him as the lawful winner of the poll. Besides the two major facts, the qualification of Atiku or Tinubu for the poll may also take center stage in the scrutiny of the tribunal following the admission of the president in his INEC Form EC009, wherein he admitted having not attended any primary or secondary school in Nigeria. This is in contrast to his claim to the same electoral body in 1998, where in his own handwriting admitted graduating at a primary school at Arayaya in Lagos and at Government College Ibadan, Oyo State. Tinubu's legal team at the adoption of final address led by Chief Wole Olanipeku, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, conceded that the president was actually punished by an American court and was made to forfeit the $460,000 found in his bank account as proceeds of heinous crime of narcotic trafficking and money laundering. Similarly, admission was made through the APC representative Lateef Fagbemi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. The two legal team, however, asked the tribunal to invoke the forgiving spirit of Nigeria's 1999 constitution to overlook the judgment of the U.S. court on the forfeiture on the grounds that the verdict was handed to Tinubu more than 30 years ago. He said it is ridiculous that the holders of the president of Nigeria will stand before an open court and be pleading for clemency for a crime on narcotic and money laundering. The admission by INEC that Atiku won in 21 states of the Federation, which up till now has not been controverted by INEC itself, is another factor giving the APC sleepless night. At the last opportunity to reboot the claim and denounce it, the electoral body completely slept off, fueling the belief that the electoral umpire knew or know what it is doing in its entirety. This is quite interesting. I don't have much to say, but it has one thing is certain: it is pointing to one direction, that this whole election issue may be cancelled. But that's where we like to leave it.